Dear friend, on the path toward discovering the deeper meaning of life, we are often swept up in grand contemplations, questions of identity, morality, duality between good and evil, light and darkness. Many individuals devote their entire lives in pursuit of enlightenment, traversing diverse spiritual disciplines and testing the very limits of human endurance through rigorous mental and physical practices. Yet, paradoxically, it is often in the simplest and most unassuming moments, a gentle gesture, a sincere act from the heart, that the seed of awakening is sown, casting light into the deepest recesses of the human soul. Today's story stands as a testament to that truth. It does not recount a triumphant conquest or a miraculous feat, but rather a humble moment by the banks of the Naranja River, where a modest bowl of milk rice offered with boundless compassion became a pivotal turning point in the journey to enlightenment, not only for one man, but eventually for all of humanity. Siddhartha, the prince who once lived in opulence and was immersed in the pleasures of the material world, had renounced everything to seek the Dharma. For 6 arduous years, he subjected his body to extreme austerities, fasting, enduring harsh climates, meditating in silence amidst biting cold and burning heat, and exposing himself to insects and the elements, all in the hope of attaining liberation from suffering. But the deeper he delved into self-mortification, the more he sensed his physical depletion and the clouding of his mental clarity. Some days he survived only on tree bark, dried leaves, or a few scattered grains of rice or sesame. His feet were calloused, his body skin and bones, each breath a laborious struggle through a chest tight with pain. His eyes sank deep into their sockets, his skin turned ashen, his lips cracked and bled, and his hands trembled with fatigue. Then, one morning, just as the sun began to rise beyond the distant bamboo groves, Siddhartha's body could bear no more. His legs collapsed at the riverbank, and he lay motionless on the cool, damp sand. The Narangara's gentle current continued to flow beside him, as if to console the young mendicant, poised on the brink between life and death. Above him, the vast blue sky stretched endlessly. The wind rustled the treetops, and birds sang in the distance. But all seemed distant, unreal, fading into a singular sensation of solitude and despair. In that fragile moment, Siddhartha reflected on his journey. He had driven his body to its absolute limits in hopes of attaining ultimate truth. Yet, truth remained elusive, and suffering persisted. Enlightenment felt more distant than ever. He began to question, was liberation truly reserved for those who annihilate their physical form? Or was there an alternative path, a middle way, that he had yet to realize? At that very moment, a slight figure appeared near the river's edge. It was Sujata, a village girl with neatly braided hair, luminous eyes, and a gentle smile. That morning, as part of a customary offering, she had prepared a bowl of warm milk rice using the finest white grains and fresh cow's milk, intending to offer it to the tree spirit as a prayer for her family's well-being. As she passed by the river, she noticed a mendicant lying unconscious on the sand. His emaciated frame, tattered robes, and pale complexion, giving the impression of someone already departed from this world. Overwhelmed with compassion, Sujata rushed to his side. Without hesitation, she knelt, gently raised his head, and opened the lid of the bowl. With utmost tenderness, She offered him spoonfuls of the milk rice. Her eyes radiated empathy and pure-hearted kindness, devoid of judgment or expectation. She did not ask who he was, nor did she question his background. She sought no reward. She simply responded, as one human to another, to someone in need. Siddhartha slowly opened his eyes to see Sujata's kind face. He said nothing, quietly accepting each spoonful, as though receiving not just sustenance, but also trust and faith in life restored. The sweet aroma of milk and rice, combined with Sujata's devotion, infused his depleted body with new vitality. Deep within, a flickering light was reignited, nurturing a long-dormant faith, dulled by years of fruitless self-denial. It was in that moment that a profound transformation took place. Siddhartha realized destroying the body does not lead to liberation. To drown in ascetic suffering is no different from indulging in sensual pleasures. Both are chains that bind human beings to samsara. Truth is not found at either extreme, but emerges from the middle way, a path where body and mind are nourished with wisdom, compassion, and loving kindness. Such a thought was like a ray of light, piercing through the long night of consciousness. Siddhartha realized that to attain enlightenment, he did not need to destroy his body, nor did he need to satisfy every desire. The true path lay in balance and a mindfulness in each breath, nurturing the body and mind as one would tend to a precious garden, knowing when to pause, to listen, and to love. Replenished with newly found vitality, Siddhartha sat up and washed his face in the cool river water. He felt each cell awaken, each heartbeat grow stronger. His eyes brightened, not with gloom, but with resolve and inner peace. He rose, thanked Sujata with a gentle smile, and walked slowly toward a large tree, later known as the Bodhi tree. There, he would begin his final meditation, confronting darkness and light within the heart before realizing the ultimate truth. Sujata's bowl of milk rice did more than revive a dying body. It saved a spiritual journey that was nearly stranded in extremity and despair. It became a powerful symbol of compassion, of unconditional care, and of how small acts can profoundly shape the course of an entire era. Later, once Siddhartha became the Buddha, the awakened one, his disciples would often recount this story with deep gratitude. Sujata was not a saint nor a spiritual teacher. She was simply a humble village girl. Yet with her sincere heart and pure kindness, she played a part in the awakening of a great being. This reminds us all, each of us can plant seeds of awakening in the world through a kind word, a gentle gesture, or timely attention. On our own journeys, we often swing between two extremes, sometimes forcing ourselves toward perfection so rigid that we become brittle, other times abandoning all care, losing our will and our presence. We chase austere practices and forget what true practice should be. Some believe that suffering makes one closer to enlightenment. Others think indulgence and pleasure will bring peace. But both extremes ultimately bring exhaustion, disillusionment, and emptiness. The path of mindfulness does not ask us to become flawless saints. It simply invites us to return to ourselves, to balance between body and mind, between effort and ease, between seriousness and gentleness. Learn to listen to your body, care for your emotions, nourish your soul with wholesome practices, and do not forget to offer yourself kindness and love. And like Sujata, we may all be called to plant seeds of awakening in others. Sometimes, a simple gesture, a kind glance, a word of care, a humble bowl, or a helping hand can lift up a lost soul and ignite hope in a wandering heart. Do not believe that you must do something grand to bring happiness to others. A touch of understanding, a bit of love, a moment of presence, these are enough. If someday you find yourself lost in the busyness of life, burdened by worry, pressure, or sorrow, remember that moment by the banks of the Neranjara. Remember, the path to wisdom doesn't begin with spectacle, but with the simplest, most ordinary acts. A mindful breath. Inhale, knowing you're inhaling. Exhale, knowing you're exhaling. A wholesome meal, shared with loved ones. Listening to laughter and speech, savoring life's flavor. A gentle act for yourself, reminding yourself that you did your best today and that you deserve love. An empathetic gaze towards someone else, accepting mistakes, embracing wounds, walking through challenges together. Each day, allow yourself a moment to pause. Listen to your breath, feel your heartbeat, and feel gratitude simply for being alive and having the chance to love and be loved. Nourish your body and mind with healthy habits, balanced meals, sufficient rest, physical movement, inspiring books, uplifting conversation, and reaching out to those in need. If possible, offer yourself or another a bowl of milk rice, not necessarily in a material sense, but through presence, non-judgmental listening, a word of encouragement in moments of doubt, a hug in loneliness, a simple promise, I'm here, don't worry. That simple act of presence can awaken a profound life within them. Ultimately, life is made of small, interconnected moments. Each raindrop, every falling leaf, each step in the sand, every glance, every smile, all miracles, opportunities for mindful practice, to cultivate compassion and to be a light for ourselves and others. And if one day you feel like giving up, remember, even a bowl of milk rice or a timely, kind gesture can rekindle powerful life within you. Never underestimate small things. Never think you're too weak or too insignificant to make a difference. It is precisely these small acts, done with a pure heart, that spread like ripples, touching many hearts and warming an entire world. Thank you for sitting with me and listening to today's story. May your day be peaceful, steadfast, and filled with inner light wherever you are. Whatever you are doing, always remember, you deserve to be loved and to live a full life. The path to awakening walks right beneath your feet, starting with your smallest steps, your kindest deeds, your most wholesome thoughts. Keep walking with mindfulness and love in your heart. Goodbye, and see you again.